So it seems like we didn't have to wait for very long to get the answer to the video I did yesterday, because we now know, according to Insider Gaming and Tom Henderson, what Respawn are actually working on when it comes to their FPS game. And it honestly wasn't what I expected. It was not Jedi Knight, Dark Forces, Republic Commando or anything like that, but according to Tom, they are actually working on a first-person Mandalorian game. There has been a lot of rumors back and forth for years that a Mandalorian game is in the works, but not really any concrete details on who's making it or what kind of game it is. But I am very happy to hear that Respawn are doing it, because if there's anything we know, it's that Respawn has been probably one of the most consistent developers when it comes to delivering good games. So let's get straight into the details. What exactly is this game according to Insider Gaming? Keep in mind that, of course, this isn't official, but they have been very accurate in the past, so it's very unlikely that they would be completely off here and that something else is what actually is in the works. So according to his sources, this is going to be a game where you take control of a Mandalorian Bounty Hunter, and it's unclear who, so most likely not Din Djarin, and it's set during the time when the Galactic Empire is dominating across the galaxy, so basically the original trilogy. And it's your job as a bounty hunter to capture bounties, dead or alive, for cash rewards. Basically something that I think people have asked for from a game for a very long time. I gotta say, it's a little bit disappointing that it's yet another game set during the Galactic Civil War. I feel like we've had so many games during that era now, but nevertheless, I'm assuming since it is a bounty hunter game, it might not be too focused on the whole Rebel and Empire conflict. And this is also the game that Jeff Grubb previously said would be very focused on mobility and quick movement, which the article here also emphasizes that the game's high mobility has been made possible storytelling-wise thanks to the Mandalorian's jetpack, which allows the player to perform horizontal dashing, vertical jumping, boost sliding, a bit similar to Apex Legends, and more. And that the sources describe the game as very fast-paced and as such will reward players who play this style. For example, the player's health will mainly regenerate based on successive kills. This is definitely the kind of gameplay that I really like, so for me this is purely positive. And they also continue saying, as to be expected, playing as a Mandalorian bounty hunter gives the player a wide variety of weapons and gadgets, including a wrist rocket, grapple hook and visor for tagging enemies and bounties and more. It's understood that the game will not be an open world game and will have linear levels taking place on a variety of different planets in the Star Wars universe. While it's unclear when the game will be released, it was said that we're still a year or two away at the very least. And something that caught my attention is that it says here that it's currently unclear if the game will have a multiplayer experience or not. So the hope kind of lives. He doesn't straight up say that it's only gonna be single player. So that's definitely exciting for me. And the fact that it's not open world, that's completely fine. This kind of very fast-paced single player combat is something that I think can be really enjoyable, and we already have an open world game happening during this time period with Star Wars Outlaws. So that the games aren't just going to be the same thing, I think makes a lot of sense. It basically sounds like this is going to be very similar to what Respawn has done in the past when it comes to combat, like Titanfall, Apex, but now it's going to be set in the Star Wars universe. And you know what? I'm 100% on board with that. That's kind of exactly what I hoped for when I heard that Respawn were making an FPS game. If this would then be translated to some type of multiplayer experience, that would be amazing. I mean, obviously we know Respawn can make both multiplayer and single player games very well, so I'm very happy at least that Tom doesn't just shoot down that option and just says that it's unclear if the game will have a multiplayer experience or not. So I guess hope kind of lives a little bit, even if this seems to at least be focused mainly as a single player game and not a multiplayer experience. Nevertheless, for me this was purely positive news, as I think just having a bounty hunter and Mandalorian in general adds so many opportunities when it comes to gameplay and gadgets, whereas more traditional characters might be a little bit more limited when it comes to what they can do lore-wise. So yeah, I'm very curious now that this is kind of out in the open, if Respawn and EA will react and maybe have some type of official reveal sometime soon, whether it's a trailer, a name drop or anything like that, or if we're still gonna have to wait wait quite a long time until potentially next year to hear something official about this game. Anyways, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Star Wars gaming. There's a lot of projects in the works, and I will definitely be covering them all here on the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.